Up next, we have a live AMA with Sologenic's co-creator, Reza Bashash, and Sologenic's Chief Product Officer, Dmitri Litvinovich. So, it's time now to get your questions in. You can ask about the simulator, tokenizing assets, DeFi, or any other part of the Sologenic ecosystem. Ask a question, and you could win Solo and Sologenic merchandise from the Solo store. Let's get started. All right, everyone. I am so excited to do this AMA. I hope you're excited to listen. Allow me to welcome Dmitri and Reza here to answer your questions. I'm going to go through the questions here. I do apologize in advance for any mispronunciations, but Dmitri, Reza, please say hello to our wonderful audience here.
Hello, everyone. Yes, hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here at this event. I hope that everyone is excited.
So we are just going to jump right into the questions here. The first question I have here is from Dmitri Rutrak, who says, did you have any problems with regulations? Or what are the biggest problems regulators still need to face?
Well, yes, I can this question. And basically, I think nowadays every DeFi project faces certain issues with the regulators. And this is absolutely fine because the regulators, they just cannot keep up with the pace of the current fintech industry. So meaning that we had quite hard times explaining how we coexist with the legacy financial products and how we bringing these technologies such as blockchain, tokenization, DeFi on the top of the classical investment services. But having said that, I think the background is definitely changing. So we see on our field experience that the regulators are becoming more flexible towards those new technologies. And I think it will be in the nearest future that we'll see this kind of a massive adoptions of the DeFi and tokenization across multiple jurisdictions.
All right, so our next question comes from Christian Voades, who says, what is the difference between CFDs and the tokenized assets that you were going to provide?
Okay, so I'm going to cover this question as well. Basically, the CFD is the completely different trading instrument. The main difference, I think that, not that I think that the main difference is that actually the CFDs doesn't provide any custody or underlying assets to the trader or to the user. As for the tokenized assets, we can look at it as an actual company share that a user can keep at the Sologenic platform or withdraw to his personal crypto account, wallet, or even trade at the decentralized exchange. In addition, the tokenized asset gives the user voting rights, so he can vote for the company, as well as it gives a user rights to receive dividends that the company pays to its shareholders.
Okay, so our next question here comes from Duncan White, and he asks, if, for example, I want 30% of a share and the current pool only needs 20%, would I have to wait for the next pool to be funded?
Yes, that's an interesting question. Thank you. So in that example, what will happen is that once the pool order filled for one equal share, it will be tokenized, and the user will get this 20% in his account. As for the rest, 10%, it is going to be transferred to the next pool, waiting for the next contributors to join. And once it fills for one equal share, then a user receives 10% additionally.
All right, so moving on to our next question. The question here is pretty simple. Exactly how will tokenizing assets work?
I can take that question. So basically, the XRP has a feature called IOUs. So essentially, an issuer or a gateway, which is in Sologenic, can issue tokenized assets. So when a user places an order and the order is fulfilled on the platform, it is automatically tokenized on the XRP ledger. So what it means is basically this token is generated in the ledger and is being put into a custody. So as the user is trading, they can actually see what is being tokenized from their orders. So a good example is, let's say you buy a share of Tesla, or even you contribute to the pool and you buy like half a share of Apple or whatever. You can see instantly in your screen that the amount that you buy is tokenized on demand. So this is what we call the on-demand tokenization. And that's what we think will change the game, because we are not tokenizing anything based on our preferences, but the user is actually tokenizing what they want. So this is how it works. We have more information in our white paper on more technicals, and you can see the white paper on sologenic.com.
All right. So we have a little bit. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Okay, good. So we have got a little bit of a follow-up to that, which is, does the Sologenic asset tokenization work during the weekend when the stock exchanges are closed? If yes, how will it affect the prices on the exchanges?
Well, Sologenic is a bridge between financial markets, like stock markets, and soon other markets, and the blockchain. So essentially what Sologenic has to do is to act and play with the rules and the policies of the external markets, which are the actual stock market. So on the weekends, Sologenic is, if an exchange is closed, Sologenic does not provide service to for tokenization or buying and selling of that specific asset. However, users can still trade all those assets on the decentralized exchange. So let's say I buy one share of an asset. I always use the example of Tesla. So I buy one Tesla, and we have actually interest from a lot of market makers that are interested to participate into market making all these different assets. So what happens is these market makers will tokenize. They will come to Sologenic, let's say on a Monday. They buy shares, and they will transfer these shares to the decentralized exchange and allow everyone else to trade them 24/7. So trading on the decentralized exchange, there are no rules, and it's not governed by anyone but the blockchain. However, because we're actually playing with the game, with the rules of the external markets, when we are buying that, when we're tokenizing, it means we're actually buying that stock. So when you're buying one Tesla, we are buying one Tesla. We're putting that one Tesla into custody, and we tokenize it. And then we give you that tokenized asset. And then after that, that tokenized asset can be traded in fractions and so on. But at the point when we are actually buying or selling, we are still dealing with the exchanges.
Okay, so our next question here comes from Ryan Sherifa, which is asking, creating Trustline is not free. Does the required number of XRP, how does the required number of XRP adapt to the price of XRP if it goes up or down?
XRP is an asset. And if you consider trading between assets, it always, when you make a trade with your XRP or any other asset, USD, Solo, whatever, it doesn't matter. When you open a position, it means that you have sold your XRP and you have gained an asset. So you no longer have an XRP, but you have another asset which you bought with XRP. And so that means you can you can trade between these assets in the exchange. So when you no longer hold the asset, or when you no longer hold XRP, whether its value goes up or down, it doesn't really matter. But now you have a position for Tesla. So it's like giving your XRP and buying one Tesla. So you would probably not have both at the same time if you're trading in between the two pairs.
So another question I have here is, when does the live version of Sologenic launch?
Yeah, I can cover this question. So from the product or technology perspective, the live version has very little difference from the simulator that we just announced today. So we have the simulator based on the testnet that is identical to the live net. And for this reason, we're ready to launch the live trading as soon as we have all needed licenses in place. I don't want to give any deadlines, but I'm quite positive that we are going to launch it sometime first half of next year.
Okay, that's exciting. Another question we have here is, if I contribute to a pool.
Can I add something to Dimitri's answer?
Oh, yes, please, please.
I just want to add.
Yeah, I mean, it's good if we both answer, like put and add things to the question. So basically, what we have done here is we have released the simulator, as Dmitri mentioned, and the sole purpose of releasing the simulator is to get feedback from the community and from the users. And so while we're obtaining the licenses and so on, we can improve the simulator and we can make sure that it works as we expect it to. So we really welcome any feedback from anyone who's going to use the simulator. We appreciate if people can tokenize assets, withdraw, trade on the testnet, decentralized exchange, and so on, and just give us feedbacks. And we're going to work on those feedbacks. We're going to improve the system. We have been busy the past few months building the simulator, and the sole purpose for that was to make sure that we have the actual product, and so that the only thing that's pending are the licenses. Thanks.
So back to the question I had here is that if I contribute to a pool and before the pool completes, I want to get out of it, can I withdraw the money subject to some fees?
Absolutely not. We do not charge any fees for canceling an order. So if the order is still not filled, then no fees are going to be charged. However, if a user decides to purchase a certain stock for the crypto assets, we need to convert those crypto assets to the base fiat currency that a certain stock exchange operates with. So there might be some conversion fees involved, but again, it's only for the purchasing stocks with your crypto assets.
Now, the next question I have lined up here is that if I tokenize an asset, like in the demo where there's the tokenization of Tesla with XRP, if both Tesla and XRP increase in value, will it boost my returns or will it do the opposite?
Like I said, I think a similar question was asked. It doesn't really matter. They are interchangeable. When you have Tesla, you can, you trade your XRP with the Tesla, so you can't hold both at the same time. So if you pay 200 XRP to get one Tesla or whatever, you no longer have the XRP. So if the value of XRP goes up or down, it doesn't really matter on your open position.
Now, here's a big question. How long before the full launch in the US?
We have all the technology, everything is ready. It's just a matter of regulations, licenses, and so on. So there's no clear answer for that as we're moving forward with acquiring licenses for the first few jurisdictions that we're looking for. So once we get these jurisdictions, once we get licensed for these jurisdictions, we're going to move. And the idea is to to allow anyone in the world to use, DeFi and Sologenic, and to basically be able to tokenize assets on the blockchain.
I probably can add something to this question as well. So basically, we were focusing on the European regulations. So we should definitely start from Europe, but we gradually expand our footprint. And it is just not physically possible to cover all potential and promises locations, such as US, Canada, and many others. But from that, I would also like to mention that we have a franchise program for CoinField, where we are partnering with the individuals or companies by joining forces for entering a certain market. So currently, we're strongly considering to have the same for Sologenic. So if anyone is interested in this type of partnership, please contact us.
So the next question I have here is, could it sometime in the future be possible to send tokenized assets from Sologenic to another wallet, for example, onto a Ledger Nano?
Yes, of course. I mean, Ledger Nano or any other device that supports the XRP Ledger transaction, they can essentially open a trust line with the issuer, which is Sologenic, and you can transfer any asset to any XRP address. So let's say that you hold one Tesla in your personal wallet, and your friend, you want to send that one Tesla to your friend. So your friend simply has to open a trust line with the issuer, which is Sologenic, and then you will be able to send the one Tesla. And all the other I mentioned in my talk that dividends and the interactions with the tokens after they're being issued will now happen with the new owner of the token, which is your friend.
So the next question we have here, I think, is pretty interesting. Will we be able to pool shares with specific individuals, for example, family members or business partners, or will it always be randomly generated?
Pool orders are like Uber pool. So basically, you don't really know who you're going to share your ride with. And the point about it is to make a pool filled as soon as possible. So it's not a good practice to limit the pool, because you want to get the pool filled so that your order gets executed as soon as possible. And you wouldn't really need to know who is participating in the pool. It might be a market maker. It might be an institution. It might be an individual that is also trying to do the same thing. So the whole idea behind pool orders are for individuals who cannot contribute and get a whole share to invest with as little as capital as they want, like $10. So, 10 friends can actually do the same thing in the same pool, and they might actually be sharing the same pool with other people. But yes, of course, they can contribute to the same pool.
Now, next question I have here is that if I set up a trust line on my wallet, but want to send to a friend, do they need to set up a new trust line?
Yes, of course. Any XRP address on the ledger would require to have a trust line with the gateway, which is Sologenic. And once they've done it, they can receive any tokenized asset. And once they establish the trust line, they can conduct transactions and trades on the decentralized exchange. And full guides on how to establish a trust line and what is required to do so, how much XRP you need, what exactly you need is on the Sologenic platform. So if you want to establish a trust line, there's a guide, you can click, and then it will tell you exactly how you can establish that trust line. And similarly, if you want, you can delete or remove a trust line. So you don't have to, it's not a one-way communication, but you can also remove a trust line, because establishing a trust line would require an XRP address to hold at least 5 XRP. So these are the technicals that are well documented on the steps that you're establishing. But when you want to release the XRP, you can actually remove that trust line, and those funds will be released.
All right, our next question is pretty simple. Will more Solo ever be created?
No. Solo was produced and on the XRP Ledger, and at the time it was created, the formula our team used was to burn the issuer. So the issuer no longer exists. So it is impossible for more Solo to be generated because that issuer has a burnt address. And if anyone is interested, they can actually check the address for the Solo issuer or the gateway on the XRP Ledger sites like xrpl.org or bithump.com. They can actually search for Solo address, and they will see that the master key is disabled and it is impossible for the issuer to produce more Solo.
Okay, we have time for one last question here. This comes from Shane Ellis, who asks, may I ask, do you have buy-in or interest from any institutions? Thank you.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead, Dmitri.
yes. Yeah, so Sologenic is something that we are aiming to provide institutions with. And we have this nice piece of technology that covers all the tokenization, integrating with different liquidity providers, stock exchanges, and everything. So having this technology in our hands, we easily can contribute to this DeFi adoption by offering this to established financial institutions. However, we are just launching this project in a couple of days. So it is like the plans are there, but it's too early to say something practically.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dmitri and Reza, for taking the time to do this AMA and answering so many questions. I'm sure all of our audience and I myself greatly appreciate you taking the time to do so and, yeah, shedding so much light on the Sologenic project.
Thanks, Brent. Thank you, everyone.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. It was a pleasure to meet you. Yep.